Poinsettia, Chapter 5. The night was bright and warm. The lights outside flickered. Within an old inn, there was plenty of activity. Many people used this place to gather for small casual business get-togethers. Many of the businessmen used it as a place to rest with lovely female escorts or to meet their mistresses. It also was a place of reputable business. It had a dining hall and pub featured for the paying guests. This particular inn was owned by Radford McVeigh, an old, short, and portly man, looking much like an Italian bistro chef than a Scot. He was a traditional man, letting his stout, hairy legs poke out from a kilt held up by plaid suspenders. The dining hall was full of a group of businessmen, drinking ale and whiskey and being merry after working long hours. Many of them were regulars, patrons of the inn, providing a lot of business and advertisement. "Clementine! Clementine, girl! Get your wee bottom out here and get to work!" Radford shouted into the back. His voice carried in all directions. Some of the patrons peered over curiously, waiting to see the wench that would serve them. Gavin was among them, sipping his whiskey and rather craving more bread, cheese, and a refill. Coming from the back was dear Clementine, her hair bundled up in a mob cap. She was dressed as a traditional barmaid, a tray in hand as she came out with the refills and refreshments. She gasped and stopped short, recognizing Gavin among the group of men. "Why are you stopping, lass?" Radford asked. "Papa, that man." "Which?" "The pretty one." He snorted like a happy pig. "Ah, that wouldn't be the Lord of McIntyre Castle. He occasionally comes in to visit with fellow businessmen. He's a very generous payer, Clementine. You be good to him. None of your crazy, educated fiddle-faddle. You won't impress him." "Yes, Papa," she sighed, leaving him and approaching her customers. The men cheered as she began to tend to their orders. She didn't like the feeling of all those eyes on her. A few of the patrons had already had a few to drink, and were rather fresh with their comments, their eyes, and their hands. It took everything she had to keep from going off on them. Gavin was rather unamused by the surrounding behavior, and when Clementine forced a professional smile to him when refilling his drink, he merely glared at her, as if she were such common trash. It gave her chills. Was this not the man that, but a week or so ago, had escorted her through the Beltane bonfires? She returned to the counter and held the tray to her bosom. "Father, please, don't make me go back up there." "They be some frisky men, but it's okay. You're doing fine." "I don't like the way he looks at me, Papa. It's frightening." "What do you expect, Clementine?" Radford shrugged. "He's a lord, keeper of a big castle. He has more money than the entire town of Strathaven put together. Just continue with your duties." Clementine frowned but went into the back, awaiting and dreading the next moment she'd have to face those lecherous men. She peered out, watching them. She couldn't hear their conversations, even the loud parts where many would shout out in slurs or incoherently. As the night wore on, about 4 of the men ended up leaving the table to venture into the inn area with girls who had come to meet them, obviously harlots or mistresses. She hated the idea that her father would allow brothel-like activities to take place in this establishment. However, these were heavy-paying customers. Money owned the town. Money was what ruled over the common folk like them. If these men could get away with it, they'd tell other wealthy people about the secret rendezvous point, and more large sums of money would come in. She really couldn't argue, for these were the bits of currency that allowed her to so feverishly self-teach herself the lessons nobility took for granted. "Clementine, stop dallying, lass! Keep on top of it!" Radford called. She choked and coughed before grabbing up her tray and rushed to the table. "Are you sirs ready for another round? Anything else you'd like?" "You're new," one of them stated. "You're clumsy and dim-witted." "I beg your pardon," she gasped, biting on her lip, unsure if she wanted to yell or cry. "Such an idiot girl is perfect for the brothel, but in no way capable of a real good living." "William," Gavin's voice warned, "you shall have no more to drink." I don't need a nanny to tell me when and when I have not had enough to drink. You will drink no more, Gavin repeated. You've become an impoverished beast, a savage among men. How lowly for a gentleman to talk so poorly of a young maiden. Where have your manners gone? He was speaking in her behalf? She blushed, unsure of what to think. All of it was in a jumble to her. Thank you, my lord. He stood, reaching over and wriggling his fingers before the drunk, who passed out coincidentally. Was it magic or just luck? He then stood tall before her, looking down at her with those green eyes, like liquid emerald. It is true, is it not? You are not the usual barmaid that tends to us. Father thought I should help out around here. I just didn't mean to do so poorly. She looked away shamefully. Gavin smirked. You were fine. First days are very nerve-wracking. So is this something to pass milady's time, or is this a venture for some money of your own? This isn't a hobby I'd choose for myself, sir, Clementine replied. But it will pay for books. You want to be a well-educated lady, like the nobility? I'll never have what the nobility has. But I want to be able to hold my own, she said. He smirked again, brushing past her and coming up to the counter. Radford looked a little nervous. Does she offend your lordship? Quite the contrary, Gavin replied. She intrigues me. Quite a sassy wee lass, is she not? I dunna know where she gets it from. Gavin chuckled, laying out some money on the counter. Mr. McVeigh, I wish to escort your daughter this evening. What? She gasped. Papa! Now, wait a wee minute there, my lord. She's never known a man. All the better. She enjoys getting an education, and I wish to be the one to give it to her. I will pay handsomely, ridiculously so, for the chance to teach your daughter the art of deflowering. Radford stammered and thought, glancing at Clementine. He then sighed. Gavin was paying an insane amount of money, and he wasn't going to kill her, right? If such an amount could be earned simply in exchange for his mouthy daughter's virginity, what was the harm? She had the bragging rights, did she not? Very well, sir. Papa, no! Then argue, Clementine. Go with Lord McIntyre. Do as he tells you and be a good lass. Within the room, Gavin locked the door and set the key aside, coming about the bed where Clementine sat. She eyed him with sharp eyes, as if to warn him to keep his distance. I am no harlot, your lordship, she stated. I do not intend to become one. In this world, dear Clementine, you may know all you wish, but it can mean nothing if you do not know the right people. I am one of those right people. To cooperate with me, you could have everything you seek in this world, and perhaps more. I think all of your dreams and desires that lie in your future is a wonderful thing, and surely worth your minuscule virginity. He came close to kiss her, only to have his face slapped. I will not forgo my dignity for the pigs in the sty. So what when you are done with me? What of when you grow bored? What then? Will you cast me aside to waste away, worse off than I am now? I will not be a piece of meat. Gavin rubbed the back of his neck. Boy, you keep that fire burning all the time, don't you? Look into my face and tell me you do not want me. She grabbed his ears and looked dead into his eyes. I do not want you. You lie. But I said it. He pulled back with a sigh. You are such a robust lass. I have to admire the strength within you. Almost masculine. I am not masculine. No, you are quite a beautiful lady. Still, you have an independent personality. And you yell too much. You're so easy to fluster, and yet you fluster and intrigue me. If you want it, then you earn it, my lord. I'm not so desperate as to throw my bosom to you and plead. That's good. You wouldn't consider... Not in the least. If you want me, then I am an all-or-nothing individual. I am saving myself for my husband. I'm saving myself for the man of whom I love more than the heavens, the stars, the sun, and the moon in the sky. Do not men of nobility value such good girls? Or would you prefer used trash sluts? My, if your tongue were a sword, I'd be beheaded. He sat beside her. All right. What is it you want in life? I want to become better than I am. Do you wish to become like the nobility? To walk among them so carefree and blend in with them? To compete with them? That would be nice. Do you wish to become wealthy? I want to be me, your lordship. That is what I want most. Gavin sighed and placed a hand on hers. I believe you are a rare jewel. As a friend of mine would say, a diamond in the rough. Perhaps I could assist you in realizing your dreams. At what price? Well, sex would be nice. But then that would defeat the purpose, would it not? How can you talk with such vulgarity to a lady? Are you going to be a bitch about it the entire time? Gavin asked point blank. This caught her completely off guard. Listen, I don't mind having a mere girl telling me off and putting me in my place from time to time. There are several men who find such a thing arousing, but there is a time and a place for everything. I admire your strength and audacity. But you must also remember that you are a lady, and I am your superior in rank. You will behave like a lady if you wish to be treated as one. And what of my dignity? If it means that much to you, then leave it to me. You follow me, Clementine, and I shall defend your dignity when it falls under attack. He sighed yet again. Can I at least have a hug? Show me the goods first, she said, standing and turning up her nose at him. If I like what you have to offer me, I'll invest. You sound like a businessman. That really kills my Willie, he whined. He stood as well. Very well. I'll give you a taste of the nobility. I'll sponsor your education. I'll even help you find a more attractive job if you wish. But no amount of outer works will really be of any use unless you are who you are. But you must also remember how much of yourself you may show at one time. Even if I allowed you to mingle with the nobility, you're still at the bottom. I understand. Very well. You will attend my balls and see just what it is you think you want. With that, Gavin began to walk towards the door. Your lordship, where are you going? If you will not be deflowered, I have no reason to stay. My home is not far from here. Besides, it is rude for a man to be in the company of a young maiden in her bedroom in this manner. I don't get you, she sighed. Few people do, he chuckled. Wait, Papa will be angry about... I will not ask for my money back. Your cheeky disposition was worth every penny. We will meet again, my lovely Rose. How long will you be able to resist? If you do your job well, pulling out a weed like you will be no trouble at all. You really need to work on your people skills. He frowned, leaving her alone in the room. Ugh! What is with that guy? She spat, flopping down to sit with a pout, her arms crossed as she planted herself on the edge of the bed.